utulivu ile iko ni mzuri sana. Meona wafanyakazi wanafanya kazi yao mzuri. Meona wananchi wanakuja moja moja. So ninatumaini ifikapo saa ya kamili, saa 8 saa 9 watu itakuwa wamekuja kwa wingi. So kitu ambayo nimefurahia sana ni utulivu, kwa sababu watu wetu wamekaa vizuri, anapiga kura na kuondoka, kuacha station. So hiyo ndio kitu muhimu sana nimeona. Asante.
Wito wako ni gani kwa wale ambao labda bado hawajafika kupiga kura?
Wito wangu ni kuuliza wote wakuje wachague viongozi ili wanapenda kwa wale wote sita.
Asante sana. Those are views from residents here at Baringo South who have already casted their vote, and as we've said earlier, we'll continue to monitor how the process is going on and we'll inform our viewers of what is coming up. Remember that this by-election is actually like the biggest by-election in the country, the Senate by-election in Baringo, and it's a very important one, more especially for the UDA party, as they are going to see their influence even in the North Rift as we head to the 2027 general election. So from here, we'll continue to update our viewers on what is happening across other polling stations and later on at the County Tallying Center, which is in Kabarnet. From here, my name is Winnie Tuitoek. Back to you in studio.
Thank you so much, Winnie, all the way from Baringo County, just bringing us to speed on everything that's going on. Remember, the senatorial seat is up for grabs, and of course, we have two main contenders. We have the candidate for UDA, Vincent Chemite, and of course, we have an independent candidate, Samson Cherop. We will be giving you all the details as the voters continue to vote in that particular region. Kadi, should we expect any surprises in any of the regions, in any of the seats?
You reach here, then you go back.
Oh, I'm really being unfair.
All right. But it's okay, ladies first.
Gender equality.
Yeah, I didn't finish my security.
All right, everybody will get an equal amount of time.
Yeah,
all right,
and I'll be very quick so that I allow my brothers to comment on the same. Okay. Yes, we should expect a lot of surprises. You know, especially in Bere North, it has been a battle of the deputies, you know. Just seeing Professor Kithure Kindiki go all out to campaign for the UDA candidate, and Mheshimiwa Rigathi Gachagua as well go all out campaigning for the, of course, not his candidate, but the DP candidate. And as in the Jubilee Party, of course, we have been supporting the united opposition candidate, who is Newton Karish. But then going by what I've seen on the ground, I think I expect a huge surprise from Bere.
Okay, all right. We have a lot to watch out for. But
before we surprise,
before we come to you, Mheshimiwa, let's now cross over to Kajiado County, where by-elections are also going on, and speak to our reporter Christine Musa to just give us an update on what's going on, how the voting process has been, if there's been any chaos witnessed so far. Christine, if you can hear me, tell us what's going on there.
Thank you very much. We are here in Kajiado County, particularly Kajiado Ward. This is Kajiado Central constituency, where at least according to the IEBC, or the Independent Electoral Boundaries Commission, we have 4,848 registered voters that are expected to cast their votes today to elect their member of county assembly representative. Just to bring you up to speed is that the member of county assembly for this particular ward succumbed to a short illness on 5th of March 2025, and that means this ward has not been represented in the county assembly for the last 8 months. And today we have seen quite a big number of voters turnout just coming to elect their MCA. And today we have 3 contestants who will be facing each other on the ballot. We have an ODM candidate, we have a DCP candidate, and we also have a UDA candidate who will be trying their luck or to see maybe who garners more votes to be the next member of county assembly to represent this ward before the 2027 general elections. And the member of county, the UDA candidate that is being voted in today is an accountant by profession. He's a greenhorn in politics and he has not been seen in politics before, and he's just he is a former employee of Kotu. And the ODM candidate, Daniel Naikuni, is the current chairman of ODM here in Kajiado County, and is the former MCA of this particular ward. And the DCP candidate, Saidimu Sanare, is a former employee of the county government of Kajiado who worked in the Revenue Enforcement Department until April this year, and is also considered an ally of the governor, Joseph Olelenku. And just to inform our viewers is that today the three candidates who will be contesting have received enormous support from their political parties, because during campaigns we saw each political party invest largely in wooing voters to support their candidates. The ODM candidate, Daniel Naikuni, was highly supported by the party, and the ODM party here, the face of the campaigns that we have seen have been the governor of this particular county, Joseph Olelenku, and he has received support because we have also seen the ODM chairperson Gladys Wanga lead a brigade here to campaign for Naikuni. The candidate for DCP, Saidimu Sanare, has also received a boost from his political party because we have seen the deputy, the DCP party leader, Rigathi Gachagua, come here with his brigade to campaign for him. We have also seen that the UDA candidate here, Amos Mbusia, has received a major support from the UDA party, and the UDA party face here during campaigns have been State House Controller Kato Olemetito, who has led his campaigns. And during the campaigns, we have also seen relatively calm engagement among voters, because we had very, very special incidences during campaigns where we could see several political parties having a rally at the same place. You find that there is a rally, DCP rally ongoing, we have a UDA rally, and we have a DCP rally ongoing within the same shopping center, but we have not had incidences of altercations during the campaigns period. And in our observation since morning, we have just seen voters streaming in. Once they are verified, they go in to cast their ballot, and we have not witnessed any anomalies in the 8 polling stations that we have been able to move around, because here the polling stations are 8 and there is relatively calm, and we have also seen heightened security, just making sure that once a voter casts their ballot, they are told to leave the polling stations to ensure that they are not coming in to sit or to have groups that are discussing anything. We have also engaged the county commander here, Alex Shikondi, who has insisted and appealed to voters here in Purko that once you cast your vote, you are not allowed to stay at the polling stations. And here in Purko ward, the voting dynamics are very unpredictable, because in the past we have seen them voting on age and clan mechanism, but currently we have seen that clanism has not been given priority, because like the UDA candidate and the ODM candidate come from the same larger clan of referred to as the Red Cow, while the DCP candidate comes from the other clan referred as Oroketeng, and we have seen that the politics of clanism this time has not been considered, because ordinarily elders will prevail over one of the candidates to step down just to have a single candidate representing the ward. But this time we have not seen clan politics, because we also have the governor here Joseph Olelenku, who hails from a different clan and supporting a candidate from another clan, something that we have not seen in Kajiado politics. And the issue of age has also not been considered like before, where the issue of age has always been a factor. Because like the DCP candidate, Amos Mpusia, along the UDM candidate, Amos Mpusia, and the ODM candidate, Hayes, and the DCP candidate are from the same age group known as Irimirishi, and that therefore means the issue of age this time is not going to work, and perhaps according to most of the voters we have spoken to, this time they are more focused. They are more focused on an individual rather than just clan politics, age politics, and party euphoria. Maybe we expect to see surprises on who maybe will emerge the winner of this by-election. Remember, we have just 4,848 voters in this particular ward, and will be just engaging more and more, engaging people just to hear their views and to just see how the preparations are. But so far, voters here are satisfied in the manner that IEBC has just prepared, and they have not witnessed, and we have not witnessed any anomalies at all. Remember, this is the ward that here in Kajiado County that has remained very unpredictable when it comes to voting patterns, because in 2013, it is among the wards that elected an illiterate MCA who represented the ward for 5 good years. And then in 2017 and in 2022, they voted a different person. And we'll just be moving around to the other polling stations just to see the preparedness of IEBC, the voters turnout, as well as the security aspect. Thank you. Back to you, Mombi, in studio.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Christine Musa, just giving us an update on the by-elections for the various MCA seats there in Kajiado County. We will be keeping an eye on everything that will be going on. Things seem quite peaceful there, quite calm, and we are of course observing the other areas where the by-elections are taking place, and in particular keeping a close eye in Mbere North, of course Kasipul, Magarini, and other regions that the by-elections are taking place. We continue with the discussion here as the voters continue to stream in various locations, various polling centers to exercise their civic duty. And we continue that conversation right here. Let me come to you, Mheshimiwa. You keep complaining I'm not giving you enough chance. And going back to what we saw in Kasipul and, you know, the role of IEBC in all of this, ensuring that the laws and regulations are followed. What is their role in terms of hindering any form of violence or the security personnel?
First, I'm not complaining. Okay. I was just raising issues.
Fair enough, fair enough.
So I think we have just watched a live video from Kasipul Kabondo, and the candidate Boyd was talking, and the chief agent of ODM, Mheshimiwa Kaluma, was also talking. And we saw that there were traces of blood, if I'm not wrong, on his shirt, and he tried to explain how he was attacked, and even the gun for his security was taken away. That is a high level of arrogance in terms of political violence, and the people who did this must be brought to book. They must answer for it. And the Kenyans must know that IEBC are the ones in charge of election. They must show the world that really they are independent and cannot be taken for granted. We have seen that the candidate for the ODM has said that the IEBC themselves have tried to do a wonderful job, quoting from his statement. The ballot boxes, he says, were ready yesterday, and all the logistics were done by yesterday, and the voting is smooth. The other arms of the government, the other agencies that are supposed to bring order, should ensure that we have order in the voting area so that people can vote peacefully in those areas. But we are all members of the ODM, but I want to disagree with my colleague Kaluma that the goons are from Kibra. No, in Kibra.
Is there any truth to that?
Because you know, Kibra, we are very peaceful people.
Why would he make such an allegation?
I wonder why he should make such an allegation. Because Kibra is very peaceful. If you go now, you'll find that we are a very peaceful community, especially during election. Yeah. During election time, there is never violence. During my campaigns, there were never violence. Maybe those people live in Nairobi, and their home base is in Kasipul, and they have gone back to do the voting. They have serious mechanism to determine who those people are. They should be arrested. They should be taken to court. They should be punished. But Kibra, I want to tell the nation that Kibra now is one of the most peaceful constituencies. We stopped throwing stones, you have not seen, and burning tires. If you go, our road like now is one of the best roads.
And breaking the railway
line. We stopped. So I think we should be commended for maintaining peace and order and bringing a lot of sanity within our communities. Right. So let us not resurrect emotions and the bygones that people think Kibra is not a... Kibra is one of the best constituencies now. Okay. I just wanted to say that, but I sympathize with my friend Kaluma. He's also my in-law, by the way, yeah. So I really sympathize with him, and I want the agencies, the concerned agencies, are not just the IBC. I saw Murkomen talk yesterday. I saw Dr. Raymond Omolo talk yesterday. Let them not take that for granted. Let them arrest those people. Let them be taken to court. Let them be punished. And such violence must not be allowed in the modern society. We are a democratic country, and we must be allowed to exercise our democratic rights and choosing the right leadership so that this Kenya can move on. I have seen Mbere. The candidate has come without a security.
Right.
That is the Kenya we want now. And we must see that in all the areas that we have the elections. Okay. We must see that in Western, we must see that in Magarini, we must see that in Baringo, and also in the Luo Nyanza. I have not seen Ugunja. How it is, but people say that Ugunja is all gone because that is an ODM zone. Right. It is where Wandai was, and the minister, and I think his supporters are supporting the candidate.
Before we come to Mr. Osido, just on you, Mahesh, you know, all this is going on while, you know, of course, former ODM leader Raila Odinga is not with us anymore. And of course, there are various regions where he would have had a stake. For instance, Kasipul, Magarini, of course, Malava. How much of an impact is his absence? Does it mean something with everything how ODM has been handling the campaigns, the elections now?
Before I just say anything, you know, in Malava we didn't field a candidate.
Oh yes.
And UDA also didn't field a candidate in Magarini. Those are the products of BBG, broad-based government. Right. We started showing people that we can disagree to agree and agree to disagree. We came together and left for UDA to contest in Malava, just to show that as broad-based we were working together. So in Magarini also, the UDA did not field a candidate and left for the ODM to field a candidate. I want to say that Raila is not dead, he's just sleeping. And his spirit is still there with us, and that is why the ODM party will emerge even stronger, because Raila himself made structures and united this country in a manner that no any other leader has done before. So as an ODM community, and that is Kenyans as a whole, we believe that the areas that Raila had big influence, not just the area, the Kenya, he had big influence in this country. Like Kasipul Kabonda, obviously the ODM candidate will still win because of the inspiration that the late Raila Odinga left and has in all of us in ODM. And also the other seat in Ugunja. obviously ODM will still win, because those are areas.
You're so confident.
Very confident. You know,
Kathy earlier said you should expect some surprises.
I am an ODM insider, an ODM member of parliament. So that is why we exhibit that level of confidence, because we know that those areas really, they are just members of the ODM political party. It's only that the players are different, those who have contested.
Okay.
But basically the voters are members of the Magarini. Historically, you know, the coast people always associate with freedom. That freedom could only be gotten in the ODM political party.
Right.
And that is why you find that the coast region, basically, almost all of them support the ODM political party. Okay. If you go to Mombasa, they sini tuko na raha kwa ODM jameni. So that is what brings life into the people of Magarini. So in Magarini we also expect to win.
ODM to win.
ODM to win. And you could see the burial of Raila Odinga. It shows that this is a leader without boundaries in Africa and in the world. So that boundary, the limitless boundary that we talk about, will be exhibited in these elections.
Okay.
So by 6 p.m., you will know that the spirits of Raila Odinga is still with us and is just sleeping.
All right. Mr. Osodi, let's come, Osido, sorry. In terms of what changes are likely to happen politically, what realignments should we expect, of course, based on the results that we are going to see? What are the likely changes we should expect maybe in the political arena after the results?
Yeah, very good question. Maybe there are going to be very broad changes. One is that we have certain parties that are newly formed or coalitions,
right,
like DCP, that are now facing their very first test, you know, to field a candidate and even to get engaged in the actual process. Not that the leaders have not been in the political sphere, but that really this is in terms of the parties and the coalitions. This is really one opportunity that they now have. So how they win it is going to be informed by the kind of preparations that they have made, and maybe in the context of Kenya, even the kind of message that you want to pass. That if you win this election, in the event that you win the by-election, then 2027 is going to be quote unquote a walkover, and a walkover because you now begin to bring in people and they say, oh yeah, we knew. For example, if it is about DCP, you know, the people who follow Mheshimiwa Rigathi Gachagua, in the event that the areas where they have candidates, they go through, then they can say, oh yeah, we knew that we now have a very strong person, we have a strong candidate. In the event that the opposite becomes true, then you more or less begin to ask yourself, really, are we making a point? Do we have a point to make? Do we even have something to show? So you either close shop and move on, get involved with other very strong political parties, or you begin to ask yourself, where did we go wrong? And I know that there are also people who are individuals and even political parties that are waiting, you know, to reap from this particular process. And maybe they might not have fielded candidates, but they are keenly watching and you know, looking, particularly within the united opposition, and they are saying, do we now get into UDA and join ODM and UDA into the broad-based government, because okay, this is a play which they can be able to, you know, to get involved in and to win votes, which they boosts their opportunity in 2027, or do we stay with united opposition and begin to ask ourselves, how do we strengthen it? And I think that it might not be clear right now, but post the announcement and maybe by you know, tomorrow or the days that follow, we will begin to maybe hear telltale stories of who supported who was waiting for what to happen, and that is going to really be cemented, especially as we move into the 2027 general election in terms of formation of coalitions and also support to various political parties. I think that even for ODM, as Mheshimiwa rightfully said, is going to be an opportunity for them to begin to ask themselves, how do we move post Baba? And you know, everywhere where I come from, when you mention Baba, you must say Joey. So Baba, Joey, Aguambo, Tinga, Joey. and so that they begin to ask themselves, what do we need to strengthen, you know, as we head towards 2027 general election? And even for other areas where where we have by-elections, but they did not field candidates and are perennial supporters of the former Prime Minister, it's going to be an opportunity for them to begin to ask themselves, do we field candidates or do we bring in alliances, therefore that can also be able to help us achieve the broader objective. And the broader objective in this country is really winning the presidency. And a lot of times you look at it from the manner in which the zoning of political parties is done, the support that is given to candidates, because all these snippets of elections and the turnout, you know, they all boil over into the ultimate numbers that vote for the presidency. So many political parties are watching. I think for us who come from particularly Luo Nyanza, there are also people who maybe are saying, oh yeah, now there is no lifting up of hands, there is no Tosha here, there is no Tosha there. So there are maybe new people who are also thinking of coming into the political game, and they are saying, oh yeah, now we think that we can work with ODM and we might not, expect to any handshakes, or we can go as independents, or we work with other parties that are affiliated with the ODM party. Okay. So it's going to be also an opportunity for people to begin to think, you know, where opportunities lie and also where the challenges might really, come forth. But I think that generally the bare minimum is for political parties, that they now have to begin to think through, and even those who want to run as independent candidates. And in this election, we have, I think, 2 or 3 independent candidates in Narok, Baringo, and also in Kasipul. So even those who would probably be thinking of running as independent candidates, I think the opportunities that bear for those who run on independent ticket, particularly where you have the stiffest opposition being in political parties, like in Kasipul, it's a tall order to run on an independent candidate against
Baringo
ODM.
County.
And same to Baringo County, you know. But again, as Mheshimiwa would tell you, Otete was also a member of ODM until when ODM picked the son of the former MP, that is Boyd Were, to run. So again, whether or not it is going to be a 50-50, 70-30, or I know that by the end of the day we'll be able to see how the turnout is going to be, and those who are keen, to look at the numbers will be sharing with us. And I think that IEBC should be honorable enough to share with people, particularly even in terms of how the statistics per candidate, went through. So it is an opportunity for several lessons to be learned, Mumbi. I think that even for the government is not a walk in the path, and you can see the degree of deployment of public officers, civil servants, up to the CS level. The deputy president has been camping in Bere. Is not a small thing. So I'm sure that even from their angle, they're also looking at, as political players, the areas where there are weaknesses and how to strengthen those weaknesses.
All right. Kadi, of course, the issue of who President Ruto picks as his running mate in 2027 has been a big question. And how much do you think this particular elections, the by-elections, will influence that decision?
I think it will have a huge impact. And again, looking at ODM and the demands, because ODM has been very clear. It's either the deputy president or nothing, and I think that is a condition they have given for them to be in the BBG. But Mheshimiwa can shed more light to that because he's in the House. But I think the issue of the deputies, because both the former deputy president, Rigathi Gachagua, and the current come from Mount Kenya region. So there has been this fear that maybe if they don't deliver, especially if Professor Kindiki does not deliver, then, he will be maybe rendered not very useful in that arrangement. And maybe then that is why the president might think of changing. But then I look at people and wonder, do they really understand who Professor Kithure Kindiki is? I mean, Professor Kithure Kindiki and His Excellency William Ruto are allies. They are friends more than, political partners or something like that. And I think for someone like Professor Kithure Kindiki, is the kind of a leader who will listen to the president and say, okay, fine. So you think that I should step aside and allow maybe someone from ODM to take this position? He will agree. And there is no going to be drama. The kind of drama that we saw, the kind of push and pull that we saw between Rigathi Gachagua and the president cannot happen between Professor Kithure Kindiki and the president. That's for sure. So, for me, actually, what is more important, it's not even about the deputy presidency. It is about these new parties that have emerged in the region, and especially in Mount Kenya region. And a good example is DCP.
Right.
And DCP has always wanted to render every other party, including my party, Jubilee, useless in the region. And they have even been calling us a red wheelbarrow, and we are not a red wheelbarrow because we do, we are not in the broad.
Tell us more.
Spill the beans.
My party, Jubilee, has never been in the broad-based arrangement with the current government. And we have been very categorical. My party leader came out very strongly and even presented a presidential candidate, who is Dr. Fred Matiang'i. Really, it is very unfair for this gentleman to keep calling us a red wheelbarrow. But then we have said, you know, let these gentlemen meet today. We are not preempting anything because we do not know until the votes are counted and we are given the results. We want them to square it out today so that we can respect each other in future, because that is also very important. In Mount Kenya region, we have more than 15 political parties. We have PLP for Mother Karua. We have CCK for Moses Kuria. And even Moses Kuria has a candidate in Bere as we speak. We have DP, we have Jubilee, you know, we have Safina, led by Njibi Wanjegi. We have so many political parties, but then the politics has just been around one political party. You know, Mombi, even as we have this conversation today, there's a lie that has been repeated many, many times, that the candidate, Newton Karish, who is the candidate for Mbeere North, is a DCP candidate. It is not true. Newton Karish is a DP candidate.
Yes.
But the person who has been seen always at the front and making, you know, campaigning for Karish is Rigathi Gachagua. And therefore people thought that he is a DCP candidate. He is a DP candidate. So let's get this very, very clearly. In Mount Kenya region, we do not have a DCP candidate. But as united opposition, you know, we have candidates in various regions, yeah.
Thank you so much. For instance, Mheshimiwa, Kadi talked about, you know, some of the parties being very confident. What will that signal, and what changes should we expect? For instance, DCP has been very confident in the Mbeere North Member of Parliament seat. So what will that signify if some of the parties that have been coming out so strongly, you know, and confident, you know, what will that signify?
I don't know whether people perceive confidence by the utterances made by certain leaders. Because some leaders just talk without weighing their words. Then people think they are confident. If DCP was confident, they should have put their candidate in Mbeere. And the kind of aura that they carry themselves with, you might think that they own the whole of Mount Kenya. You have just heard from the my sister here,
Kadi.
that they are being called red wheelbarrows. And that is a metaphor. I don't know why somebody of the former deputy president would use such connotations to refer to a party that has run this country for 10 years. Yeah. And his party, the DCP, is not even a year old. And they have not won a single seat. And I don't see them winning any seat in these by-elections. So you see, as leaders, as political leaders, we must look at and must weigh the kind of wordings we use on other political parties.
Right.
And these parties, which are called big parties, they are not just big. They are big because some of them have Jubilee had a presidential candidate. Which one? UDA had a presidential candidate. Which one? ODM has always had the public president for the last 4 elections. People's president. So these are big parties because we have a party which is people's president here, who has been there for 4 election years from 2007. We have Jubilee, which has ruled also for 10 years. And then we have UDA. So when we talk of those as big political parties, it is understandable. Other players must come slowly. I want to advise my friend that they must come slowly because these big parties will swallow them. They will swallow them politically. They swallow them in terms of immense structures. And as we are going to 2027, we will be back here. You know, we used to be with Ruku here many times as we navigated the political status in this country.
Right.
As we come to 2027, I can tell you there will be maybe 2 horses competing. And you might not find a DCP anywhere in the ballot.
Okay.
And this will, let's wait until 6 p.m. today. Then when you realize that even Kenyans can make good judgments. Kenyans are able to determine who can lead them. And we are not just saying this can be reflected in the voting pattern that we are going to see today.
Okay.
And as we are talking now, I must say that these elections, you know, some people have not been there for a while. These elections are not different from the 1992 elections when we had the first multi-party democracy in this country. There was a lot of violence that time, which has not been seen, I think, since that time.
Right.
92 we had, 97 we also had, 202. I think 202 was a bit better because everybody was behind Mwai Kibaki after a long rule of KANU, so over 30 years rule of KANU. So we wanted to change to a new political party. But because of the digital platform that flourishes in this country, that everybody can see what is happening everywhere, that is why people now can see that there is a lot of violence. I am not advocating for the violence, but I am saying that we need to stop the kind of violence that has been associated with all elections in this country.
Okay. Okay.
And that violence can only be stopped when the Independent Electoral Commission works very closely with other agents of the government, like the police force, the IPOA, the whatever, all kind of agents that safeguard the electioneering process in this country. Okay. So that is where we should put our mind, that elections must be free of violence. Election must reflect the willingness of the people to cast their vote to the people which will carry their inspiration. So as a Kenyan people, we must not associate elections with violence. But as political parties, we are saying that as we move towards 2027, we are going to see some of these big political parties now coming out blazing to see how they will win the 2027 election.
Okay.
And this is going to be shaped by the kind of outcome that we are going to see, although normally politics change even within one day.
Every day, yeah.
Every day.
Yeah.
But the perception created, and there is no by-election. I've heard you say that you see this is just a by-election. No. It is an election to elect
It is a big deal.
a member of National Assembly who will represent the views of many people. Over 78,000 people
Okay.
are represented by one person. So to the electorate and to the candidates contesting now, it is not just a by-election. It is a real election because those elected will represent their members in the National Assembly.
Okay, Mr. Osido, one factor that's coming out, of course, the Gen Z have been a big deal, you know, since the protests last year, protesting the finance bill. And of course, it's been around now 6 hours since voting commenced. And just, you know, looking around at who's coming out, is it the women, is it the elderly men? And in some of the stations, you can't really see young people coming out. So should we still give them time until some time? I don't know.
Well, that's quite a very good and interesting question, because we really have to be keen around intergenerational engagements in elections with our young people. And I don't think that the excuse to give them time is going to sell. By now, anyone who has decided to go and vote in this by-election will vote. And those who have decided not to vote, they will not vote. And if you listen to some of the leaders, for example, Mheshimiwa Kaluma, who is the chief agent of ODM, he was urging people to come out and vote. It means that even to them, in as far as they are concerned, the turnout is not looking very appealing.
Right.
Of course, it has a number of issues, because you remember that a by-election, because it is a by-election constitutionally, but in the context of politics, it is an election. many things that happen at the general election might not happen for a by-election. For example, that during elections, the general election, there are holidays that are given to people, even those who work in Nairobi but vote in Kasipul. Today being is a Thursday, voters who are engaged in Nairobi and are supposed to go to Magarini or any part of the country who are not present where they are supposed to be voting will not vote unless they have organized and made certain steps, which is why Mumbi overly we have been urging IEBC to begin thinking through the digital voting,
right,
so that the young people who are of the view that hey, mnataka niende kwenye damu inatoka venye wanapigana huko ati Kaluma amesema bunduki imechukuliwa na niende hapo,
siendi huko.
You see, those kind of tones and sentiments are already a scare even to women, and now you imagine the youth and fundamentally persons with disabilities who will expect guidance, who will expect that they have guides. So I don't think that the youth are already showing very clear, signs, progressive signs to be part and parcel of this change. And I say that in confidence because I know that there is also the ongoing continuous voter registration by IEBC, and the numbers are also not looking very good even at that end. And so already we begin to ask ourselves, what are the modalities to excite these young people? And I think that the youth of Kenya, as you made special reference to the Gen Zs, have given us a very easy to engage with the tools. As at County Governance Watch, we engage them on digital, platforms.
Right.
And you get some of them saying, Mimi ni TikToker, I will do a video of what you just said so that we can help people understand how do I present myself to vote. And we are not seeing the commission taking advantage of those kind of platforms, things like podcasts. We want to see the commissioners and the officers at the commission coming out. I know that my good friend Commissioner Mutalala has been appearing in many X charts, to be able to speak to people, and I think he's doing very well. But you also ask yourself, what is the demographic of people that we are targeting? For the mass voter registration process, I think it is clear that we are looking at new voters, people who have just turned 18, people who are taking their IDs for the first time. But again, we have an experience that in 2022, close to 8.4 million young people under 35 did not vote, in that particular election. So many things that I believe are presenting for the commission to begin to really critically think through how to vote for a young person. And as I finish, it is also, if you look at the median age of those who are running in this election, they are really youth, from Magarini to Narok to Kasipul. Boyd is a very young man, How the candidates also encourage and spur the youth to support them. If you go to Ugunja, one of the biggest running, sentiments has been vijana tujitokeze, because sisi ndio tuko kwa ballot. And it's a very good call, but will that translate to anything? And I think that moving forward to 2027, there are lessons that we have to critically learn, especially insofar as exciting the Gen Zs and the broader youth demographic to be actively involved. I like how they now even have town halls. In Kasipul, working with the local media stations, the youth even organized for a town hall vetting of all the candidates. Of course, some of them did not attend, and I'm sure that the same kind of planning has also gone on, even in other places like Mount Kenya and others. But that has to be moved into now showing up, being there at the ballot. And you're right, Mumbi, because if you look at the queues of those who are they are the numbers are very minimal. If you look at the demographics, Ugunja, for example, we are expecting more than 60,000, voters. But if you look at midday by right now, the statistics are not encouraging. If you go to Mbere North, we are expecting over 77,000 people to show up in that particular vote, despite all the factors remaining constant, ceteris paribus. It's important for us, therefore, to look at how do we continue to engage. And finally, that is why all the three of us are in agreement that IEBC needs to now show its independence. Communicate to people. When you see violence happening in Homa Bay, and you are expecting, for example, Kasipul has over 67,000 registered voters in that particular constituency. By now, your presiding officers, your returning officers should be telling you, the kind of, because they are in WhatsApp groups, they have a mechanism to know how many ballot papers have we issued, how many people have voted. They must come out and begin to tell people, don't be scared by the insecurity you are seeing. As a commission, we are in charge. and we want to encourage you to come out. We have enough security personnel. We will the polling stations are secure. Things that will be able to mobilize and motivate people, particularly the youth, to come out and vote. Otherwise, again, goes back to public trust and confidence on the IEBC. The turnout might again be an indictment to the commission. People will say, oh yeah, but the turnout was only 14%. How do you do conduct elections, 24 by-elections? There are 22 across the country, and only 14% or so. Bare minimum turnout.
And of course, the issue of transparency and credibility is coming out in relation to IEBC, Kathy, and of course, how transparent these elections will be. IEBC is targeting to register, 6.3 million new voters before 2027. How much of an impact will these elections have in determining who decides to register as a voter, especially looking at the Gen Z, because you did not conduct, transparent by-elections. So why should we trust you in the general elections?
At times I look at the young people, the Gen Zs, and I understand, I feel them. The young people came out, during the protest. They were very vocal, and they agitated, and we understood what they were talking about. But how did the state react? There was maiming, torturing, abductions, and all those things, and that was quite unfortunate. Now, from that point, I think there's been a lot of loss of direction from the young people. Maybe they feel someone tried to, really gag them so that they don't speak and agitate as they were doing, and that can create apathy. Like what you're seeing, where we are observing that young people are not coming out to vote. But then, wasn't that the case in 2022?
Right.
It was the same. It was the same. So it then takes us to the same question that we need to ask ourselves very seriously. Are we engaging our young people enough? Are we doing enough civic education? I was actually very impressed sometime last week. I saw a group of young people do civic education in a restaurant, and they called it a quiz night, and they were just asking questions about good governance and stuff like that. So I want to believe that the young people are organizing in their own special way, maybe in the digital spaces, like my colleague Kevin is saying, but that is not enough, because by not coming out to vote, you're basically just allowing that other person that you don't like, have their day, and therefore I would still encourage those young people who are listening to us and they have not voted in those particular areas to come out and vote. It is your right. It is not just your civic right. It is even a human right. Go out and vote. If you came out to agitate that you want better, education system, health system, and all the things that you said, then you have to show us through action. And one of the actions is actually getting out with your ID and vote, because you are Kenyan and you really, you are responsible for that particular event. Now, when you think about, because there's something I would like to add my voice to, and that is the issue of violence.
Yes.
I would say this. There's been a lot of altercation before, especially from the opposition side and even from the government side. In fact, I would say that the anger we see in the opposition side, particularly the anger that is represented by one Rigathi Gachagua, and the going out there and calling the president names. We've not just demystified. It is not demystification of the presidency, but we've really brought it down to a level that nobody fears the other. The moment you say the kind of things that I have had some leaders from the opposition say about the president, can actually push this country to anarchy. It can push us to a very bad situation where people feel that, after all, at the end of the day, whether we like the president or not, he's still the president. He's a symbol. He should be a symbol of unity, and he's the commander-in-chief. So at times, the things we say about him are not really fair, because he is in that position now, and until we remove him. And the only way to remove him is by us exercising our duties as voters, but not by insulting. When you listen to the side of government, there is sheer arrogance. When people come out and tell you, mpende msipende, we are going to win the election. What are you telling Kenyans? Because then you're saying that you are going to win the election through hook or crook. And that does not instill any hope for a nation. What that does, it tears the national fabric even further. So moving forward, after this by-election, I expect to see leaders who have toned down. I expect to see an opposition that does not insult. I expect to see a government that does not talk down upon its people. Do not tell us that you're going to win either way, because that way then you're making the people feel very helpless. But again, for us in the opposition, let's respect the president. He is the president. And especially the people of Mount Kenya, in as much as majority say that they have moved from this side to whichever side they have gone, or their representative says so, the purported representative, the fact is 47% of the people of Mount Kenya voted for William Ruto.
All right, thank you, Kathy. We're going to be taking a short break. But before we do that, we're going to be crossing over to Kabuchai, Chwele Sub-County Hospital, where some people have been taken there or admitted there after being stabbed after allegations of voter rigging. We're getting those pictures right now. That is Chwele Sub-County Hospital in Kabuchai, where several people have been stabbed after allegations of rigging. All right, we're going to be coming back with that story in a few. We continue to observe everything that is going on in various wards, various constituencies, 6 of them, and of course, Baringo County, the senatorial seat there. We will be keeping you updated on everything that is going on in the by-elections as people continue to vote. Let's take a short break. We'll be back in just a moment.
Kameme TV, Muthi Waruriri.
Why wait for fun? K24.digital brings you 24/7 entertainment. From the pitch to the playlist, from celebrity gossip to the memes you love. We're not just news, we're your non-stop ticket to everything cool and trending. So get in the know. K24.digital. Follow the buzz 247.
God is a God of a second chance. Gai ne gai wa ihinda ringi. Ona muini wa rwimbo ne raugire Gai ne gai totungatagira Gai wa ihinda ringi. Totungatagira Gai wa ihinda ringi. Na Gai ucio ri ni aheaga mundu a second chance. Na tondu we muoyo ri Gai no akuhe o hingo ingi. Gai no akurugamirire o hingo ingi. Tondu ni Gai wa ihinda ringi. Gai arokuhe thiini wa ritwa ria Jesu. Ihinda ria gukenereruka ringi. Gai arokuhe ringi thiini wa ritwa ria Jesu Kristo. Wewe wina kirathimo gia gutherema ta muthabibu, wina kirathimo gia guciara muno ta muthabibu, na kurotwika guo thiini wa ritwa ria Jesu Kristo.
Rathimo ni kihunjio kuma kanitha-ini wa CFF Kiambu o kiumia thaa 3 cia rucini thiini wa Kameme TV. Wanenola neema tutamwona Mwokozi Yesu. Na 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 na.
Alo, Mr. Mavela, Mr. Mandunya, Mr. Mavujeng, Mr. Sababisha bana kijana wa mamake, siko solo, ceremony master, bonga nao.
Check, brrrpa. MC Ghetto Child, but like 90s dance, allows you.
I'm from Michelle Francis, IMF for short, what's he name?
The ceremony master, MC Ghetto Child, plus
DJ Just 254, aka the musical judge.
So if you wanna catch a groove, wanna feel the siren vibe.
Cause that time at a bed il kwangore, cause ya go see the vibe, atanama, no tiuye.
MC Ghetto Child, sapana, jembe teshi mtu wangu, tugu dawa zapo K24, Kameme TV, 2 channel.
Kila saa to, Juma, pale hivyo K24 TV na Kameme TV. Kuanzia oya, saa 5 hadi saa 7.
2 good hours of none of this and that. Local content, mtu wangu, international content, my interviews am artists, local and international artists, them out here audio.
One young man, them call Boo. Met a coolie girl named Joyce Lou. Fell in love and ting. Him promise her one baby and ring.
Tumesema jo musical judge.
Come with the fire, the city burning. Don't me just a turn it up fire and keep it burning. It a burn like a tire, me have a burning sun. And if we try for retire, me leave them here.
Kameme kayuka moigi na Kameme TV tukinyitirira mathaga maitu turakurehera Mwijoyo Festival ne Jumamothi mweri 29 November haria Sports View Hotel Kasarani kwambĩrĩria thaa 8 cia muthenya ukosemania na njata cia Wayne Samido Josega Tutura Tonia Prince Ida DJ John Falme Waja Asal Samiro Gunagia
Daragwaru warothiraga watukanago akea Kikimia timutimbi kwiro no minokwe na ganyola ma
Kuigira Mwijoyo Festival ni Aliba shirigi griemo kehigoine griemo na magana matano no gure tigiti waku kuhitukira star 672 star 55 hash Mlima meet Lakeside one stage mad fun.
True understanding requires more than a headline. The People Daily app delivers our trusted in-depth journalism directly to you. Get comprehensive reporting, insightful political analyses and special features optimized for your life on the go. Get the stories that deserve your attention wherever you are. The People Daily app. News that moves with you.
God is a God of a second chance. Gai ne gai wa ihinda ringi. Ona muini waro ibonera ugire gai ne gai totungatagira gai wa ihinda ringi. Totungatagira gai wa ihinda ringi. Na gai ucio ri ni aheaga mundu a second chance. Na tondu we muoyo ri gai no akuhe o hingo engi. Gai no akurugamirire o hingo engi. Tondu ni gai wa ihinda ringi. Gai arokuhe thiini wa ritwa ria Jesu. Ihinda ria gukenereruka ringi. Gai arokuhe ringi thiini wa ritwa ria Jesu Kristo. We wina kirathimo gia gutherema ta muthabibu wina kirathimo gia guciara muno ta muthabibu na kurotwika guo thiini wa ritwa ria Jesu Kristo.
Rathimo ni kihunjio kuma kanitha-ini wa CFF Kiambu o kiumia thaa 3 cia rũcinĩ thĩinĩ wa Kameme TV.
Wanenola neema tutamwona Mwokozi Yesu.
Love carried them through time. And betrayal tearing their lives apart. Turning what's sweet to sour.
Nimekuja kudai haki yangu.
Lazizi Season 1, Monday to Friday at 8 p.m.